meet you. No, it's like 65 pips, something like that. So that's the beginning of my day. Don't you love starting days out like that? It's great. So here we are. And we have a little bit of a news event where there's a little bit of a Greek bailout approval going on. So naturally, that's a little bit of a spark of, oh yeah, that's the world's fixed. Don't get too hung up on this. I think this is just, we're setting the table for the fall. That's just my opinion, though. But I cannot deny when you just pull up a daily chart and keep things simple, which is always good advice. What do we got here? Got a nice, perfect fib riding the 5, and we're now sort of right at that put up or shut up spot. And, while I could definitely see a lower high, just as much. I don't know if you guys remember me talking the very beginning of yesterday and actually late last week. I talked about I wouldn't be surprised this week if we actually higher high'd on a weekly. Do you guys recall that? Before starting any sort of a rollover? So I'm not going to be surprised at all if we higher high here whatsoever. This is that weekly to just remind you. Okay? But this, to me, we are in the topish zone. And by the way, Oliver, I don't know if I told you this. I chickened out last week. I took half again of my position off of the big one when it was sitting close to 130. I'm in waters I'm not comfortable with. I'm just not used to holding trades this long. And I feel that there's a very good chance that 34.70 is going to get clipped. So I took another half of it and moved my stop to 35.30 on the other remaining pieces of it. I'm chicken. I don't know what I'm doing with this long-term trades. It's new territory for me. I'm learning with that. So that's hard. I don't know how these people leave stuff for years. It drives me nuts. But the idea of shorting it up here, I mean, this could be interesting tomorrow possibly, especially if we go higher high today. Because if we go higher high today, we'll end up here and then we'll have a 5 gap, right? And then we can work our way back down. But right now, we're at resistance, but looking pretty bullish. Not really making higher highs yet. This is a resistance zone. This is definitely not where I would want to long. I would kind of wish I had scaled that long instead of gotten out completely, but I didn't because it was mainly an Asia scalp. So the two areas that I'm looking for right now are pretty much highlighted by my alarms. Okay, here and here, which would put it right at the role reversal. I'm not against shorting. Hold on, pull this up. I'm not against shorting a lower high here in the next 20 minutes or so to get down to 32.20 or so. I think that's a possible pre-London trade today. Anybody else? Sort of 132.75 to 90, sort of let's take it down to 132.20. I think it's possible for a pre-London trade. So I think we have a possibility of a pre-London trade setup here. It could go right from here. Problem is, my experience of pre-London tells me that we're about 20 minutes from the earliest possible pre-London entry. But that doesn't mean it can't happen, right? But what I'm trying to say is I'm not going to be surprised if what we're going to get now is something from either right where we're at or as high as maybe up here. Sort of back down into this, at least. Is anyone else thinking sort of the same thing, or am I alone on this? But we continually have, we might be starting right now, but it's just early for me. It's just a little early. I got to wait. I got to give it some time. But as I'm talking, it's already starting. So this is, if I saw this exact thing happening 20 minutes from now, yeah, this might be the lower high, though. Well, what are you talking about, on the weekly or the short term, Raji? Listen, I mean, there's no question, all right? There's no question that, to me, this is my plan on this trade. This is the resistance zone. This is the period of time that I would expect it to roll over, and I'm looking for that, right? But and we've completed the Stochastic cycle. But this fib, I mean, I could see it wicking up into here and then beginning to fall. We're riding the daily 5 EMA. We're continually getting higher, low, higher, high on some of these charts, but you can't long it there. You know what I'm trying to say. The problem you can get yourself into here is trying to short a long-term chart with short-term time frames. Has everybody ever done that? And you end up fractally getting yourself stuck. No, actually, I don't think we're in an uptrend. We may be in an uptrend on it. It depends what time frame you're saying. Long-term, though, no, we're not. But how do you call that an uptrend? I don't see how does that even remotely look like an uptrend at all. The way I see this, when I see a complete Stochastic cycle done and we have not made a higher high than the previous high, which is all the way at 142, what do you think I expect next when this rolls back down? I mean, major frickin' drop. If we were sitting up here at the end of this Stochastic cycle, then we might be looking at a change. But I don't want to get too hung up on the weekly because today's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, usually pretty good trading days. I don't want to miss. I think we have a pre-London trade here, and oh crap, it's going to start now, isn't it? Little punk is starting right now. Why so early? Why so early? What's going on? What did I do to you? All right, so probably going to come down right now, hit this 21. Now let's see if we can poke up our noses and then get something like that.